Welcome back to a new video. So this was my Tuesday and Wednesday training session. The Wednesday wasn't really anything to note just because I was so fatigued from this session, but this Tuesday one, was one for the ages. Hit a 242 back squat, which is a lifetime PR, which is extremely exciting. Anytime that I can hit above 230, it's always exciting, but obviously hitting a lifetime PR, that's about as exciting as it can get. Because I knew that I wanted to set up for the 242, or at least give myself the opportunity to. I went from 120 to 175 instead of 170, and then up to 205, and then to that 227, so I could set myself up. I was talking about this in a live, but you can see here I had to fight my upper back was rounding and stuff. Really, really grindy lift, but I was gonna be happy doing 227, and I was really confident that I'd be able to move it pretty well. But if it didn't feel good, or if I didn't, want to do more, then I could stop there. Or if I was kind of unsure, I could do something in between. Like 230, 235, 240, something in that range. But once I moved that 227, I was like, this is the time to try it. Even if I don't get it, it's that kind of mindset. Once you do it, you're like, all right, once you do the weight prior to it, you're like, I have a chance to do it. And you see there, like I could have easily just got gassed out and just stopped, but thankfully I was able to kind of grind it through. Did sets of 10 here. The back squats are gonna linearly regress as far as the reps go, but I'm just going to push the weights up. The next time I do these will be 3 sets of 8. So even though I'm relatively close to competition, still getting some reps in and still building whenever I can, because I think that's just a generally good thing to do for training. But it's been obviously working well. I mean, if I've just hit a lifetime PR, this kind of style of doing higher reps and just changing them around and stuff has been working quite well. I actually hit my sleeve on that one. That's why I looked weird on that one. But worked up to 200 in the snatch deadlift. Was just too tired to do the pull, so I pushed them to the next day. And I knew I was going to go to the gym. And like in my back of my mind, I was like, 110, 140 would be really nice. But that back squat really gassed me. So I was like, I probably gonna lift like and it seems bad to say like you gotta have it that I'm having like a negative mindset for the next day. But I mean, like logically, like I'm gonna be fatigued. So it's good to temper your expectations on a particular day, because then if I was like, all right, gotta do 110, 140, when I got up to 110 on this day and I missed it, then I would just feel like like I failed, which is certainly not the case. It's an obvious reason why I didn't lift in theory as well as I wanted. Obviously it's all subjective in some sort of sense, but you kind of have to adjust how you feel, the weights and stuff based on how you feel and how recovered you are. And on this day, this is the session from today. Started with muscle snatches, missed 110 a couple times, did a power clean push press with 110, then did some snatch pulls with 110, or did a power clean push press with 100, and then snatch pulled at 110. As I start to move closer to the competition, the pulls will linearly progress up, same with the front squat. Tomorrow when I train, because I'm going to be sitting in on interviews, I'm going to be training kind of late, so I set my expectations pretty low for the front squat, but I also kind of want to start it lower regardless. But I put my goal range between 150 and 170. Essentially, I'm going to do 150 and then potentially, or maybe even just any which way, go up to 170 and do that. Probably not volume for the front squat just because it beats me up so bad, but at the same time, like some really light sets to really focus on the mobility of the front rack could actually be good. So maybe I'll drop down and try to do some front squats with straps on. That could be something that I decide to do tomorrow, which now that I say it kind of sounds like a good idea. But then some pressing just to really kind of stretch the shoulders out and just try to feel good in that regard. And then Friday will be a really light / off day, and probably just muscle snatches on Friday. Honestly, I still probably want to do something, but Saturday we'll hopefully be able to lift pretty heavy. I'm going to be lifting now that I think about it, yeah, I'm actually going to be going to Columbus. So I'm going to be hopefully lifting really well. I most likely will be going to Columbus as I drive home for Easter. So I wasn't able to go home for Easter last week just because my dad was having an allergic reaction to some medicine he had after surgery. And one of my nieces was had pneumonia. Hopefully she doesn't have it anymore. So all the worst things were happening health-wise for the family. I guess obviously it could be a lot worse, but certainly not optimal for hanging out during Easter. So we're doing that this weekend. So that's why I didn't go to Columbus last weekend, just because I didn't want to drive essentially 3 hours there and back just to go to Columbus. It'd be nice. It's always nice to go to a nicer gym, but you still have to pay $25 to go for a day pass, which I don't mind paying, when it's a really nice gym. But 3 hours of driving too just didn't really seem worth it. And this weekend, obviously, it will, because it is right on the way. Like, I have to get off the highway, of course, to go to it, but it doesn't take me out of the way to go home. And it's essentially the only time I really go is when I drive home. But probably will be able to go to the Canton gym at some point this summer as well, because I'm going to be helping my dad out in late July classes, or with setting up stuff in one of the rental houses that he has. I think flooring or something. I forget exactly. But these are the pulls I did at 110. I also signed up for all my grad school classes for the summer, so I have that. I should be done with grad school at the end of the summer, so I'll get a big pay increase from that. The pay increase I normally get, and then also the jump up from my current step to or my current level to a different level, which will be nice as well. But yeah, obviously this day didn't feel great. I also had all my school clothes on. I forgot to bring my training clothes, which is not ideal because you're just kind of sweaty all day long. So I don't really like to wear the clothes I teach in, and also kind of wears them out, of course. You don't want to get them all ripped and dusty and stuff. So I try to keep them nice, and that's why I always change anyway. Feel fresh and keep my nice clothes nicer and my training clothes dirtier. But happy with how training's going. Obviously, hitting a lifetime PR is extremely exciting. I probably don't sound that excited right now just because I'm tired, but I was quite geeked about that. And I probably watched it myself 50 times at this point, but I'm just really happy I was able to hit that. And even like as happy as I am about the 242, I'm even happier about the 227, or I guess as happier, a large amount of happiness with the 227 as well, with just how it moved. It just gave me that confidence that I had the strength there to go up. And as I get closer to the competition date, like between 220 and 225 or 7, being like the top singles will just be doable ones that are difficult, but not like as difficult, obviously, as like the 100% max. So I'm excited for these next couple weeks of training. I will see. It'll be interesting to see how I feel on Saturday. I think going to a new gym and kind of having that environment for that Saturday training session might be the difference between me barely missing 127 and me being able to get it. But hopefully I can lift really well on that day. I'm kind of trying to set myself up for that. So hopefully that goes well. And then Sunday I probably won't train at all because I'll be driving 7 hours on that. Well, I guess Saturday I'll be driving home from there, but 7 hours of driving between Saturday and Sunday. So I might actually do something at the house because we won't be doing anything too much. I might just do arms or something, get a sick pump in my biceps, but mostly just hang out and take that day easy and then hammer it back Monday. But we're getting into the home stretch, and I'm excited for it. I feel like I'm in a good spot as long as I don't do anything too stupid and hurt myself or anything like that. But I feel like I'm rolling into this meet kind of the strongest I've ever been, especially in like the strength lifts. I think some of my overhead stuff can get better as I get closer to the meet, but I think that will be something, that I think all my lifts will improve as I start to dissipate some of the intensity from the squats that I've been doing, and start to really kind of hone in on the main lifts even more so than I have been. But we'll see. Hopefully that is the case, but I guess you'll be along for the ride if you continue to watch all my videos, which hopefully you do. So I'm making a lot of progress YouTube-wise as well, which is exciting too. So hopefully that progress can continue as well, because I like to get better at stuff, if you haven't noticed yet. But anywho, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next one. I hope you have a great day. Peace.